Peace everyone, Unmask Art here, and welcome to day 19 of Inktober. Now, I know I'm starting the stream a little bit earlier than scheduled, so forgive me for that. But another thing I also regretfully mention is that I didn't get very many submissions for today's Inktober, fan pictures. So I'm not going to be sharing any today, but I will share everything that you've sent me up to this point tomorrow. So yeah, I will eventually share them, just not today. I just didn't have very many, and so I just didn't see the point in doing it. So I apologize for that if anybody was really hoping to have their picture shared. However, I do have some super good news. The Facebook group is officially available to join in. So if anybody is interested in joining the Unmask family, I have the link in the description. Feel free to go over there and submit a request to join the group. Be sure to read the rules thoroughly, respect the family, and you shouldn't have any problems in the group. Real quick, hello Wendy and Wendy, Brenda, Noeticus, Yas, Sad Kitty, Kolya, Gihan, hello, Christy and Beatrice. Welcome everyone to today's live stream. Now today's prompt is cloud, and there was a lot of really good discussion yesterday as to what I could possibly do for today. And my initial kind of reaction or thought that I was thinking about doing was Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. I've always been a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII. I've probably I remember playing it on PS1, and I probably beat it around 20 times because it was so enjoyable. And but when I searched cloud, if you Google cloud or anything like that, you get a lot of pictures of Cloud Strife. And so I was like, I feel like a lot of people might do that for today. So I decided to go outside of the box a little bit, and partly from a few suggestions that you guys got, that you guys gave me from yesterday. And one of the ones that stuck out to me the most as being kind of unique was the phrase cloud of smoke. So instead of jumping from Cloud Strife straight to the clouds in the sky, I kind of liked the idea of a cloud of smoke instead. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than I've done so far for Inktober, and one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to really add in some color here, quite a bit of detailed coloring with my markers, which I haven't yet done for Inktober. However, I'm going to centralize that color just on these eyes that I have sketched out real lightly here. And we're going to create some really pretty colorful eyes. Nice blue color. I decided to go with blue simply because clouds in the sky, it just motivated me to go blue. So that's why I'm going to go blue with my irises once I finish sketching out these eyes. I actually didn't spend a whole lot of time sketching this onto the paper. I kind of think I probably should have finished the sketch completely before starting the live stream, and I even started the live stream quite a bit earlier, actually like an hour earlier than originally scheduled. So hopefully you guys just are glad that you don't have to wait any longer for me to start streaming, because you guys certainly were already waiting. I saw that there was a few of you already waiting. Hello Silvern and Ephigenia, Teiko. Let's see, Go Root Cool. Sorry. Oh, hello Cece. Love you too, sis. And Stephanie, hello. Am I going to start getting confused with two Wendy's? No, as long as you stay with your Artista YouTube page, Wendy, I think I'll be okay with differentiating between the two of you. Let's see. Let's finish this sketch, and then I'm going to ink the eyes, and then I'm going to use. I'm going to just get right into coloring the irises and stuff. So I hope everybody had a good day so far. I know it's still fairly early for a few of you, so hopefully you end up having a good day. My day was, a tiny bit stressful. I had a lot to do. I really wanted to make sure that I got the Facebook group open to everybody. So I was trying to just make sure everything was, right, and I got a few moderators. So thank you again for those of you that are going to be moderators for the group. Really appreciate that. And then that was pretty much it. I didn't actually get a lot done today, which was, kind of annoying. I can't stand days that go by where I just don't feel like I can complete anything. And today was just one of those days. And I hope that it doesn't affect the results of this picture I have, this idea that I want to create. So yeah, other than that, not a whole lot going on. I do want to mention that so far this month, my Patreon page has increased by like 15 new people, which is just magnificent. Like, I've never had that much growth on my Patreon page before, and it just feels so wonderful to have so many people coming over to support my work. Just knowing that there's that many people that find my content worthy of that level of commitment and support is it's overwhelming sometimes. I'll be honest. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming and kind of stressful. Thinking how can I keep up with all these people and satisfy what they want to support. But I'm just going to be me, and hopefully they enjoy it. Hanging out in a conference session and simultaneously listening to the live stream. Yeah, man, you should probably make sure you don't get caught. Oh, hello, Scott. Glad to see you. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Yeah, I'm glad to have you in the group. Hello, Anne. Welcome to the live stream. I started a little bit earlier, so hopefully I didn't catch you off guard. The pencil that I'm using is a Graph Gear 1000, and this comes in a few different sizes, and this is a 0.3. The lead on this is so thin. I love this pencil. One of the cool features about this pencil is that you can buy leads that are different densities, and right here there is a little indicator that you can use. You can spin the pencil, and there's a little indicator to say what lead you have in it. So I use 2B, so that's what I have in here. 2B 0.3 lead. It's just, it's fantastic. Great for sketching and drawing. Super thin, clean lines. That's another thing. All right, I'm gonna jump over to the pens and just ink out the eyelashes here. because there's nothing fancy going on with these, just flat black color. I'll get that, and then I will start coloring the eyes. I'm kind of questioning whether or not I want to ink the outlines to the face, because I guess I didn't fully explain what my plan is for this drawing, but essentially I want her turning into smoke. So that's the plan. I want her turning into a cloud of smoke. And that's how it is related to today's prompt. And I don't really have the full plan realized yet, so I'm kind of just making it up. I probably could have spent a little more time figuring it out, but since this is an evening stream for me, I just wanted to jump on here. I'm a little lethargic today, so I hope that I can keep up with the chat and not bore you guys half to death during the stream, because I am a little tired. And yeah, Inktober is really doing a number on me for sure. And I think a few of you know exactly what I'm going through, for those of you that have been able to, or at least tried to keep up a little bit with Inktober, because I know that it's been hard. It's been hard for me. So, hello, Riss. Hello, Doodle Stuff. All right, I think I'll do the outline of the iris and the bottom of the pupil here. I can always kind of erase those black lines with some white gel pen, so I might end up doing that anyway. I suppose I can zoom in a little bit so you guys get a better view. Sorry about that. I never realized that I'm zoomed out far, but sometimes I worry about being zoomed in so much that I start working on another spot and you can't see what I'm doing. It's hard to keep track of it. You already had to skip a day? Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. Hello, Sebastian. Good to see you here. You didn't miss too much, so no worries there. I really have no idea how this is going to turn out. Just her eyes are going to be colored, and then I'm going to use gray to shade her face, and then kind of attempt do my best to attempt kind of the texture of smoke as she just kind of floats away as a cloud of smoke. All right, let me I'm going to erase a little bit, clean up those lines just a tiny bit to make sure my ink is all in the right spot, and then I will fill it in. I think I'll just use this pen to fill it in. Yes, so for those of you that may have missed the announcement, the Facebook group, the Unmask Family Facebook group, is now open. So the link to that is in the description if you want to join. It is a closed group, so you may have to wait to be accepted by one of the moderators, but I have a few really lovely people that that are able to moderate, so just be patient. If you don't get accepted right away, you will eventually. But there's so just to mention a few features of the group that I have set up so far. Anne and I have been chatting quite a bit as far as coming up with all kinds of fun collaborative ideas and just ways to make the group fun, interactive, and a good learning experience, because that is the main focus of the group, is to kind of share information amongst each other to help just become better artists. So feel free to post questions and things like that for other people to give you their insight. Feel free to post pictures, work in progress pictures, and ask for advice. There is also a document in the group called the Unmask Family Tree, and you'll notice that a few of the artists, along with myself, that are in the group already added some of our information, so you can find other artists and support them and follow them and whatnot. And of course, you are able to add your own information there as well, so that people can find you. And that's just a really easy way for us to centralize all of our information so that people can find you, and people can discover new artists that they come across in the group and things like that. So feel free to participate as much as you want. The more I think about it, the more I think I am going to go ahead and ink the rest of this. So I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna go ahead and just start with the hands. So I'm gonna ink the hands first. I was a little hesitant, but I feel like to get the picture well balanced, I feel like the hands are going to need to be inked, and the rest of the subtle facial features and even the shoulders, I think. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me try to catch up with the chat for a second. I am waiting to post my beginning skyline that I think I messed up. I'm sure we'll be able to figure out how to fix it. Yes, that's a really good example of something that I would love to see posted in the group. You know, if there's pieces that you're working on and you're stuck, or there's something that you don't quite know how to do, feel free to post it in the group. Get plenty of perspectives from the collection of lovely people that I plan on having in the group. That's what it's all about. So. And of course, I will be plenty active in the group, responding to your questions. So it kind of gives you the opportunity to ask me or at least get my perspective on some of your work and get the perspective of plenty of other fantastic artists, because I'm sure we're going to have quite the collection of people in the group eventually, hopefully. You shared 2 new pictures to you with better light and more detail. Okay, thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate that. Yeah, so if you send me pictures to share on the live stream, try your best to make sure that the lighting is reasonable, so that when I share it, people are able to clearly see what it is that you've drawn. Also, try to minimize the amount of other objects showing up. Try to get a picture that's, straight on, square, the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like if it's not perfect, I'm not gonna do my best to try to get it on the live stream or anything. All right, let's get rid of this graphite now. I think I'm good for erasing everything. And then I will add some weight to my lines to just make everything contoured a bit smoother, I guess. So let's grab this pen here. And I'm just going to add some weight to all of my lines. Is it taped down? And I only have the one board, so it's what I'm working on until it gets done. Oh, you like the question, what's the family pet name? Yeah. Do I use Prismacolors? Yes, I do use Prismacolors. I don't use them too often. I just bought a new set of Prismacolors for the sake of doing a colored pencil course. I do recommend, if you're starting out with Prismacolors, that's always the set that I recommend people get, because they are really, they are quite nice pencils for beginners, and I even use them at a professional level mildly, but some of the colors are just so nice that I have to use them. Prismacolor has a really great range of kind of the faded, light saturated, light valued colors that I just really like to use in skin and other toning things like flowers maybe. They just have a great selection of soft kind of pastel type colors that I really like. Still need to finish yesterday's prompt. I tend to need extra time for completing artwork, so this challenge has been tough. Yeah, Diane, that's something that I've struggled with the whole time. I try not to rush too much during the live stream. I know you guys are more than happy to watch me and listen to me streaming for way longer than I feel comfortable doing, but even while I am quite tired today. I'm going to try my best not to rush too much with any of the work. But yeah, not having enough time, I'm right there with you, so. All right. Last few lines here that I'm going to adjust the thickness to. Yeah, I think that's just where I want it to be. There, I think that makes the face look nice and soft and curved when you add those varied lines of thickness and you smooth everything out. It just makes the curves of the face so much softer. I am going to do a little bit on the mouth here as well. Just subtly. All right. Now it's just about coloring. Let me grab a couple sheets of paper so that I can protect the next page. There we go. What is the name of the Prismacolors that I use? Yes, the Premiers. I don't use the very thins. I don't know of any other names other than the Premier and the very thins. Should I buy the 72 set? Well, in my opinion, if you're going to buy the 72 set, you might as well spend the extra like $15 to get the whole set of 150. But sometimes that depends on where you live. I know that depending on what part of the world you live in, Prismacolors can actually be really expensive. But if you live in the United States, you get them so cheap. Actually, here in Europe too, you can order them from Jackson's or not Jackson's, Amazon UK, I think is where I got mine. But they were still under $100, so. All right, let's see here. I'm going to do some preliminary shading for the eyes. Now, I'm going to use the cool grays instead of the warm grays for this particular piece. So I went with the cool grays this time. I think that it will match the black ink a little bit better. I actually don't really like the way the warm grays were a bit too yellow, I guess, in the previous drawings that I've done. Oh, buying from Amazon Canada? Okay. I'm not crazy about the very thins. I think the color quality is not very good. I'm assuming they have to use less pigment and more wax. Well, actually, it's the opposite, Mandy. They use more pigment and less wax because the very thins are hard. They are the more dense of the Prismacolors, and they have a totally different application purpose. That I never mix them. Now I've done a lot of drawings with the Pigma Very Thins, and I like the Pigma Very Thins, I do, but I use them for a very particular style. And if you go through some of my older videos, I haven't done a subscriber portrait in a really long time, but I always used the very thin pencils to do my subscriber portraits, and I used the brown, the black, and the white on the Strathmore tan paper, and I just love the look of it. But the very thins act a little bit more like graphite, in my opinion, than colored pencils. But I really like that, actually. I like it a lot for a very particular look. But that's the only time that I like to use them. Alright, let's see. I need to sketch out some details for the eyes, and then I will use some markers or I'll use some colors here. The highlights. Okay. Actually, I might just do the highlights last. Yeah. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just use a white gel pen for the highlights. I think I can get away with that. So, let's see, what color do I want to start with? I'm going to start with 552. Like I said, I'm gonna do nice blue eyes. And my goal here is to have quite a lot of detail in the eyes. So I'm gonna spend a considerable amount of time coloring these eyes. Just gonna start with my lightest blue color. What Prismacolors do I use for skin tones? That's a good question. It's kind of hard to answer that. I would say go over to my how to color portrait video and then match the colors the best you can between luminance and Prismacolor. I'm looking for the next color, 292. There we go. And let's just start sketching in some shadows. I never thought about using them like graphite. I might have to revisit my poor old set. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I've done. I like to do figure studies using the brown, black, and white very thins on the Strathmore toned tan paper. There's actually quite a few old drawing journals on my channel from like last year and even I think earlier this year where I did just that. So you can kind of see the way that I use them. I don't know if I really explain how I am using them, but I definitely recommend revisiting them. If you have them, then for sure try them out on the toned paper like I did in previous videos. I think you might actually end up liking them in some cases. All right, let's get a nice dark blue. Let's go for just true blue. Blue. Is it possible to have too much art supplies? You know, there might actually be such a thing. Um, I'm nowhere near there, but if you feel like you might be on it, then I guess maybe consider yourself a little lucky. I Sometimes I'll just go over to the art supply page, Jackson's, and I'll just look at random stuff, or I'll look at specials they have and just be like, oh, I kind of want to try that. It's sometimes that's how I discover the motivation or the inspiration to start a new medium, like ink, for instance, because I was doing, obviously I was preparing for Inktober, and then I went over there and I saw the colored inks, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just, get some colored inks. And, well, that's exactly what I did. And I think they're going to be fun once I start playing with them a little bit more in-depthly in the better paper, not this diaper paper. You're gonna start a riot in the chats on it with your question. Yeah, this paper's not too good for markers either, to be honest with you. It's bleeding quite a bit. Or feathering is what I call it. Bleeding is like where it seeps through the paper, but feathering is where it doesn't hold a sharp line. But that actually is going to work in my benefit because I want that soft, smoky look. So it's actually going to be a little bit beneficial as I progress with my coloring of this. I notice the colors seem to get a little duller as they dry. So doing a couple layers seems to do the trick as far as maintaining the vibrancy that I want to create. Oh, did I, Oh, hello, John. I didn't see you come in. Alright, let's grab a darker black now. Yes, alright, let's see. I kind of need a mid-range blue. Let's go with 279. Come in here and shade that a bit. Cut it off.
It was.
What do you mean it was?
Can't.
Okay.
It's can't.
Everybody, my lovely wife came in to show me a bell pepper.
It's cut. Bell pepper.
Everybody's waiting for you to sneeze.
What do you mean?
They're not mean. I don't know. They must really like your sneezes.
Yeah, but it was obvious of me being sick. What is obvious in English?
Indication?
Something that says
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah. Indication. Yeah.
What are we using with this?
Everybody's saying hi to you.
Hello, people.
Come say hello.
I said, what are we doing with this pepper though?
I don't know.
Crusty. We have crusty pepper.
That's how you say hello to people?
Yeah. Hello, people. Do you like crusty peppers? Bell peppers?
I don't know. What do you want to do with it? It'd be fine till tomorrow. It's not that bad.
What are we doing with this tomorrow?
Fajitas.
Fajitas?
Kohanya, you realize that I am live streaming, right?
Of course, but everybody enjoys me talking about bell pepper.
Oh my goodness.
I love to bug you and read things. Hello, Anne. I'm saying Anne, by the way. It sounds right.
I told you about my inability to pronounce people's names
Yeah,
correctly.
but I went through Finnish alphabet and there was no such sound, Anne. You know, you have Anne name, just so you know. No, I'm kidding. Finnish is super extremely difficult. It's me, Faster.
No.
Well, good for people.
Christine's toddler likes the sound of your voice.
What is toddler? A baby? Is a toddler a baby?
It's a small child.
Oh, you see, I say it better. I know, Anna. I know.
Are you done?
He's so behind the scenes.
I love you too. Now get out of here. Oh my goodness. Well, that happened. All right. I think that's about it for the eyes, with the exception of the highlights. Maybe a little bit darker blue. Try this color here. Yeah. We're the cutest. Thank you, Mandy. All right, let's do some highlights now. She should stay the whole stream. Yeah. Well, if she had something that she could draw, then I think her staying the whole stream would be great. But Inktober has just been so busy that planning a dual stream together for her to have something to do other than embarrass me with her adorableness, then yeah. But you'll have to wait until next month. We'll do another couple stream. I know they're fun to do. So I want to do another one for sure. Anna could be here to read the comments. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, hello, Chrissy. Do that for the last day? Maybe. Yeah, we can. Well, I'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, but I kind of like that idea. Anna's not feeling too well the past couple days. She's been a little under the weather, so I don't think I'd get her on today's stream for the whole time anyway. So she just has a little stomach virus. Alright, so here's a close look of the eyes. So, and there's the eyes. But I think I need... Where is that? 6? I kind of want maybe a little bit more value in the Sakura. Yeah, the Sakuras. So if you don't learn anything from today's stream, know that the white part of the eyes is called the Sakuras, and that I refer to them as the Sakuras because they're never actually white. How was your Polish class? It was good. We're learning slowly, which is nice. We're learning kind of the basic introductions and things, and also like asking where a person's from. Skąd jesteś is how you ask somebody where they're from. And I would say jestem z USA. That is me saying I'm from the United States. Yes, very sparkly eyes. Have I figured out the nationality of the mystery girl in your Polish class? No, I have not. Actually, yes, I did, but I don't remember it. Anna knows it because I listened intently yesterday what her answer was to the question skąd jesteś, and I tried my best to understand what she said in Polish because her pronunciation isn't very clear, and so I know she was from, I could tell just by the way she looked that she was from Eastern European area, and I guess that she's from this country like that's part of like by Russia or something like that. So yeah, that's what I got, but I can't remember the name exactly of the country. All right, I'm gonna start with this gray here. And I want to color in all the skin. I guess maybe I should work around the eyes a little bit first and maybe try to do one small portion at a time. I don't know. I don't really have a strategy here. This gray is so light that I don't really know if it's going to make that much of a difference. I'm going to zoom back out though. Is there a difference in responding to where you're from if you're male or female? No. So, like Russian and I think Spanish and a few other languages, Polish is gendered in the way that you speak. and refer to people. But I know that Russian, like there's words that women say and words that men say that are different, and that's not the case with Polish as far as I know. It's just that you have gendered nouns and things like that that indicate a specific gender. But with asking a question, you wouldn't say it differently. I mean, you could say it formally, and that would just be the difference of saying Miss, where are you from, or Mister, where are you from. So that's about the extent of it. But as far as answering, there wouldn't be a difference in gender. Yeah. I can't hear you when you whisper.
You are sweaty. Broccoli. I don't make
Broccoli?
We don't have space in the freezer. We don't have something.
Okay.
I already removed 3 packs of rolls.
Okay.
Okay,
So broccoli and green beans. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't quote me on my limited knowledge of Polish though, Mandy. So take what I say with a grain of salt, because I'm not quite, I'm not 100% certain. Obviously, my Polish knowledge is quite limited. All right. So, like I said, there's gonna be like a smoke coming up, like this. I'm just gonna roughly sketch in what is happening here. And hopefully, because this paper feathers the ink so much, that I'm hoping that actually helps create that smoky texture. Hello, Mara. Is this person a fairy? No, I wouldn't consider her a fairy. I don't know what she is actually. I just nothing in particular. Really, the focus is just that she's turning into a cloud of smoke, and that she has really big, pretty eyes. I want her to stand off the page more, so I'm coloring her all in with the lightest gray that I have in my set of markers. And that's just to help kind of let her be smoke a bit easier. Because if I was to leave her white, it'd be really hard to create the smoke, the cloud of smoke that she's dissipating into. Alright, let's do some shading now. I'm going to start with 3, I think. Oh, you didn't miss too much, Riss. Just the eyes, I guess. It's all good. I'm going to be jumping between all of my shades of gray here. Sorry, this process can be a little occupying mentally, so I apologize in advance if I get a little quiet for a second or two. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. That will help me stay a little bit more active with the chat. So I will thank you in advance for asking questions. And I know a few more people have come in to the live stream, so just remember that the new Facebook group is officially open, and you can find the link to that in the video description. So feel free to send a request to join. I don't know how you guys stay up so late. 4 o'clock in the morning? I don't remember the last time I was up that late. That's too much for me. Sorry, I know I'm not saying a lot. I apologize. I always feel bad when I go quiet, even though I'm drawing still. But I just can't help it. What type of video camera do I use? Also, would you recommend it? Oh, that's a good question, Beatrice. I haven't gotten that question in a while. So I use I used four different cameras. The camera that you see me looking at, the webcam here, is the Logitech C920, and for a webcam, I really can't recommend anything better than it. The camera here that looks at the drawing for the live streams is the Canon Legria. Now in Europe it's called the Canon Legria. In the United States it's called the Canon, I think it starts with an S. But there's two different versions of it because the frame rate used in Europe is different than the United States. I would recommend it. It's a good entry-level camera. It's not too expensive. It's a good live stream camera for sure. And the other camera that I use is my Canon 70D, which I use for kind of my artistic filming. And then the fourth and final camera that I use for my long time lapses, I also use it to record my courses because I'm able to record in 2.7K, which allows me to zoom in digitally in post-production. And that is my GoPro Hero 3 Plus. Now the Hero 6 is out, which I'd love to have, but yeah, that's the four different cameras that I use, and the reasons that I use them are, kind of what I explained. This webcam I use, just for the live streams and whatnot, and then of course my Canon Legria that I use for my live streams for the top-down view. Yeah, so that's all the cameras that I use, and for the reason. The GoPro is a good one to have. I think that the GoPro was actually the first camera that I got for the purpose of YouTube, and because my goal obviously was to do time lapses, and the time lapse mode on the GoPro is perfect for YouTube, for drawing time lapses. So that's why I chose that camera first, and I have not regretted it to this day. I can control it wirelessly using my iPad, which is super fantastic and helpful, and so overall it's the best investment that I've made for my art channel. And now there's higher, better versions of it out since I bought it. I don't know if I want to use that dark. Here we go. But good question. I would recommend any of the cameras that I use, because I use them for that reason, because I think they're pretty good. Hello, Wicked Illusions. Did I miss any other questions? I hope not. Hello, Andrea. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to make it to a live stream. All right. Need to shade her hands. Why don't I? Oh my god. gosh, you've got to be kidding me. I have to see. I just like all the previous drawings for Inktober. I planned them in Photoshop, and I accidentally exported wrong version of the photo, so I need to open it back up really quick. And here we go. There we go. Now I have the correct photo open. This helps a lot to at least have some of it pre-planned, in the sense that I don't have to rethink of how I have it shaded. The Canon 70D is just an amazing camera. I wouldn't have mind upgrading to the 80D that came out, I think, earlier this year or late last year or something like that. But I recently had to get my camera repaired. I think earlier this summer or something. But yeah, I have it insured, so I didn't have to pay anything for it, which was nice, but a little bit of a hassle. My fault, though. I shouldn't have been using it as a webcam. Pretty extreme to use a Canon 70D as a webcam. Let's grab two. I think I'll just use this larger size. Sometimes it's hard to work with markers on this kind of paper, because you have to wait for it to dry to really figure out where your values are at. But I think it's actually worked pretty well. I'm almost to working on the smoke, so I haven't quite got my values exactly where I want them, but I'm pretty close to being done with her. What would happen if you didn't outline her? Would it bring some realism to the painting, or would she just look like a weird person? Well, if I didn't outline her, then I'd have to be a little bit more careful with my markers, as far as making sure that I get those deeper values, like in between the hands and the face, to separate the hands from the face and all of that. So I'd have to work a little bit harder with my markers, and I was just afraid that with this paper it would be trying to take on too much for the amount of time that I have to spend on today's drawing. And so that's really the big choice the big factor to making that choice. But yeah, if I were to spend that extra time to do the drawing without the black outlines, then I certainly would be approaching a little bit more of a softer realism, a stylized realism, but still, yeah, I would be approaching a little bit more of a realistic shading and everything like that. But I didn't want to have to spend that extra time, and I also I kind of like the outline just because it makes it bold, a little bit more bold, I should say. You like how I shaded the hands? Yeah, well, I kept it really simple. Just kind of focused on the where the fingers bend. That just helps give the hands a bit more dimension. I think that's good. I'm gonna work on the smoke now, kind of, and I'm gonna do this pretty loosely. I'm just gonna use the wide end and create kind of a smoky texture. I really have no idea how this is going to turn out. I may go back and correct and add a bit more value to some portions of the drawing. But for the most part, I think that it's for the most part I think it's about done. I have 34 watching now. There's 16 members of Facebook group. Oh, that's great. That is fantastic. Yeah, I like we've kind of settled to about somewhere between 35 and 40 people that generally watch the live streams. So I think we've kind of weeded out the people that weren't very interested, and I'm fine with that. I mean, day one we had like 64 or 65 or something like that, and so we've kind of slowed down a little bit, and I'm totally cool with that. Let's see, what color was that? That was 4. 1, 2. Where's 3? I know I have 3. Oh, wow, I am blind. I think what I'm going to have happening is I'm going to have kind of this, I'm going to focus a little bit on this face, or this side of the head here, and almost go black all the way down to the eye. I think that's what I'm going to do. The diaper paper is actually doing me quite a favor with these markers right now, because it doesn't want to hold a solid line to where I color with the marker. It actually almost makes a smoke texture all on its own. Alright, where's number one? Alright. Once the marker dries a little bit, it won't look like I'm cutting the face in half. You know what, I need to do another layer of the white on the eyes. It's strangely faded for some reason. The eyes like faded away. The white specks and things. There. Maybe the marker was still wet or something and it just faded right through. Alright, what, I need 5, yeah. Thank you, David. I'm glad you like the way it looks so far. Yeah, I'm a fan of it too, I have to say. We'll see how well this paper holds out for us. It's really it really seems to be struggling at the moment. There's 5, here's 8, so it's gonna get pretty dark. It's going to take forever for this paper to dry. Alright, let's go a little bit darker now. If it even shows up. Are these markers streaky when they dry on paper? So markers, so yeah, there's two factors when you're dealing with streaky markers. The first is the marker itself, and a good marker won't be streaky. But the other, and I think this is the even more important factor, is the paper choice. you kind of have two options with a good paper choice. You have the paper like this, where you're going to get the softer look simply because of the way that it absorbs the marker, and everything feathers out. Now that limits the precision of your lines. And then you have the opposite, where you have the smoother papers, where you can get those really sharp lines, but with a good paper and a good marker, you still won't get the streaking. And then you have all the paper in between, where it's not good for markers. And that's where you get the streaking. If you have bad markers, you'll get streaking. You only need really halfway decent markers to avoid the streaking problem. But the paper is also a really important factor to avoid streaky markers. So the paper that I absolutely love for markers is the Strathmore Bristol plate paper. I have yet to find a paper that outperforms that. Don't you ruin the sheet underneath. I have protective paper underneath, so I won't be ruining the next page, the next page of my sketchbook. Let's see. Do I want to go darker? I feel like because I went so dark there, I kind of need to correct a few of the shadows, and perhaps darken them a little bit. Especially down here. There, I think that helps balance out the shadows a little bit better. And I think the final thing that I'll do, I feel like that needs to be blended a little bit, so let's see, what color should I use? I think I should do 4. Yeah, I'm going to try 4 and see if I can't get this edge here blended a little bit smoother into the face. And then I'll just go from 4 to 3, and then to 2, down to 1 again. And 1. Another thing with markers that a lot of people don't understand is that just like colored pencils, markers are a layering medium, and sometimes you have to go back and forth between colors to really get the blending that you desire. So a lot of people, I feel like, miss that with markers. They feel like they can only lay down like 2-3 layers and they feel like that's the best that's going to come from it. But in reality, there's a lot of layering potential with markers. All right, I think the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and add kind of just some decorative dots. And I wish that I had the precision to maybe, I don't know, I kind of want to add something else, but I'm not sure if I want to. Yeah, I think I'll leave it like that. Yeah, I think I'll leave it like that. Maybe add one kind of beauty mark right there. Yeah, I like that. Simple, clean. The ink still needs to dry. The page is still really wet, so you might not get the full effect of the blending here. It might look a little harsh. So that's the little dot detail that I added, and a little beauty mark right there. But once the ink dries, it will look much smoother. But I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this. What do you guys think? But anyways, that is actually going to be it for today's live stream. I will have a picture of this over on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, so make sure you follow me. I got all the links and things in the description. Also, make sure if you want to join the Unmask family Facebook group, I also have the link for that in the description. So hopefully I will see you over there. I'd love to see some of your work that you're working on. And if you have any questions about techniques or anything like that, we're gonna certainly have a very knowledgeable family. Yeah, that's gonna be it. I already have tomorrow's live stream scheduled out. I'm gonna be doing it a little bit early because tomorrow I'm also going to be streaming over on Patreon. So if you support me over on Patreon, I'm going to be continuing the colored pencil portrait. And I have that scheduled out for a little bit later than I usually do my Patreon live streams. And I also have a poll up that's going to help me determine what time is best to stream over on Patreon. So yeah, if you don't support me on Patreon, that's cool. I still love you. But if you want to, I have the link for that also in the description. And I do live streams every week, tutorial live streams, so specific to learning. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow. Make sure you send me your finished Inktober pieces so that I have some more to share for tomorrow's live stream. But other than that, everybody have a lovely day, and I will see you later. Take care. Peace.